Hello, everybody. We are back for day 3 of 365 Days of Gaming. It is Mr. Mad's turn to try a game, and he has drawn from the magical box of gaming, and he got Pet Rescue Saga, which is a Facebook game that I am highly, highly addicted to. Right now, we're playing on a friend's Facebook they've got to level 3. We're just going to X out of here. The game's kind of cool. It shows, you see the little squares, those are your friends as to how far they are. We're starting on level 3, so it's already part way into the tutorials, but as you get new tools, it'll let us play. So we're going to play level 3, and we are going to see how Mr. Mad does. So right now he doesn't have any boosters, they're all locked. And he's played it before. But he's only played like the basic tutorial, so he does know what he's doing. Unlike when I play games and I'm just like thrown in there like a crazy person. So the object of the game, obviously you click like-minded squares. In this one, you see where the little pets are traveling. Your goal is to get 3 pets down to the bottom. That star bar at the bottom tells you how many points you have and your score. So sometimes you have to get all of the blocks gone. If you just saw at the end there, it said rescue 3 pets and get so many points. That's what a lot of them are. Sometimes it's drop so many pets, sometimes it's get so many points, sometimes it's both, sometimes it's clear 100% of the blocks, and a new bar shows up when it's that. So we're going to watch him play. We're going to see how long he plays for. You start with 5 lives. You can buy more lives and you can win more lives. But right now he's got 5 lives, and they're timed. So when you lose a life, then it starts the timer. I think it's 15 minutes, it could be 12, it could be 5, I don't know. So we're going to see how long he can play before he runs out of lives and he's kind of at a standstill. Oh, he's unlocked the rocket, so rocket lets you take a whole row. He probably wanted to take that row there out. So you click on your booster, shoots it off. You hear Jingle Bell in the background? That's Data. Data is our little kitty cat. He looks like Spot from TNG, so we named him Data. Although later we decided that we kind of wanted to call him Jordy, and his name from the shelter was Oscar. But he was like a stray, and so they had just named him Oscar for like 2 months. So I think he's got a bit of an identity crisis. He doesn't know who he is. So we'll see. We got a little more complicated game. He's trying to click single squares. I don't think he quite caught on to the fact that it has to be groups of squares. So if you see the little rocket in the corner, it just lit up in color because he'd clicked enough points to earn it. So when you have those boosters, they've got a little dial there, lights up green and tells you when you've got it. Which in this case, like you desperately need it with it. A lot of them, they drop new blocks sometimes. Sometimes you just get what you get. So he's doing pretty good. He's getting 3 stars all the way across. If you look on the bottom, there's like a little star block. He's clicking at the end too quick for you to see. He just unlocked a new level. So he's doing pretty good. Although the first few levels are really easy. You could probably get to, I don't know, maybe level 20 on 5 blocks, 5 lives. We'll see. So now you can like store them. You can buy them and have them. The boosters on the side. If you look in the top right of the playing field, it's got a little plus sign on top of a rocket. Eventually you'll get a whole column of boosters in there that you can earn when you level. He can get, what is this? He can get 50 free gold for trying, so we're going to click sure. Let's see what he gets. Nothing. So we're on to level 8. You can see the rocket showed up on the booster there. You can buy them with gold, and then you can buy gold with real money. Sometimes you can buy them with coins. See, and he just clicks through the instructions there instead of reading them. It's a very poor life choice. I don't know, maybe this isn't as entertaining as like watching me fumble through StarCraft or H1Z1. but it's highly amusing. I sort of went through my entire Facebook list and like just added them to a big pile of, here are the games you should play when it's your turn. Ha ha. We're gonna be trying to find some '90s PC games, like vintage, and we're gonna try to hook up some PlayStation games so we can watch those. Getting very nostalgic. We're doing like throwback Thursdays to games that we played when we were kids for those, as opposed to like, yeah. See, now he's lost a life. He failed to rescue 4 pets, so the timer is 5 minutes. You see up in the top left, the heart's dropped down to 4, and it's got a countdown there. So he's just like mad clicking now. He also doesn't really want to be playing this game, so he's not putting his best foot forward. Which, I mean, personally, I tried my very best on the other ones. I played StarCraft for 50 minutes, having absolutely no idea what was going on. Oh, he may have done it. You can tell he plays strategy games, just randomly click, 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 clicking. I don't know, I think those are seagulls. Their choice of animals are highly entertaining. There's puppies, there's kitties, and then there's seagulls. I don't know what kind of bird they're supposed to be, but they look like a seagull. Or some kind of gull. I say seagulls, and I don't actually mean seagulls. I mean like a lake gull. We spent a lot of time by the lake, and they've got all these gulls there. And pigs. Not that they have pigs by the lakes, but that the game, if you notice, has little piggies. Oink, oink, little piggies. It's cute. He keeps like moving off the game area and scrolling, which is just like scrolling the whole thing up and down, like the actual page, not the game. The game scrolls itself, which is another cool, like, sometimes you can see the whole playing board and sometimes you can't. So sometimes you've like, if you don't use your boosters properly, you're just like SOL. Well done, Mr. Mad. So he's got 3 minutes before he gets his 5th life back. I told him he had to play till he ran out of like all 5 lives. Which for me, I'm at like level 300 and something, is like in one sitting I run out of lives. But they also have like this really cool thing where you can earn like 2 free hours of play, or 6 hours of play, or 24 hours of play. So I tend to like play that, get 24 hours of play, level all the way until you need a ticket. This is one of those games where you get to a certain point and your friends have to send you stuff. If we hit a roadblock like that, we're not going to send requests because our friends don't want to star in our videos, actually where these 2 little guys are. So we're only going to get to level 12 or 13, and then we're going to have to quit. Although we could pause and then make Mr. Mad play again. But I mean, this is kind of a boring game to watch. This is more like you're playing for commentary. So you see the tutorials. When you get a booster, it tells you, it highlights on the board how to do it. The sucky part of those is that, like, so you start with 4 and then you have to spend 1. So I wouldn't spend a blockbuster. I would use your rocket in the bottom right. Noob. What a noob. This is like the only time I get to make fun of him too for not knowing a game, is when we go to play something on Facebook. Or surprisingly, like vintage video games. Like, I grew up with a game system. Like, I was playing them before everybody else, and my brother and I played them, and I had one of the first kids to have Super Nintendo, and I remember playing regular Nintendo. You know, and a lot of people my age, they played it, but like, I'm talking like I was like 3 years old and playing games on it, and I don't know if that dates me or what it does. But it's funny because then sometimes you meet people, you meet gamers, and then they're like, you know, they weren't really into them before. You know, I was playing on the internet back with, like, let me tell you, dial-up with, like, DOS, and I was on the internet. And internet, when it was, like, when the computers were, like, a black screen with, like, green or orange typing on them, which half of you have no idea what I'm talking about. And actually, I would say like 90% of you don't know what I'm talking about, and the other 10 who kind of know what I'm talking about, you just saw a picture. So it's one of those really funny situations which then you meet, you knew something beforehand, but you just fell behind. My mother, I think, when we were doing StarCraft, talked about how she used to play Age of Empires. She used to be like computer genius in that she knew how to do things on computers that nobody else did. And then everybody got a computer, and they progressed so fast that she couldn't keep up. So right now, Hubs and I are still in like the window of we're still young enough and learning and active enough with technology to kind of know what's going on, and we can still figure it out. Like troubleshooting stuff, like we know, okay, there's got to be a menu option that does this. It could be called this. It could be called that. Every time someone gets a new phone, I remember when you got a cell phone, you actually got a manual with it. And I remember my one phone I got, I got a Galaxy Ace 2. I don't know if it was a Galaxy Ace 2. It was Samsung, and it was called an Ace 2. And I asked them about the manual, and they just were like, "Are you crazy? Like, we don't have manuals." And that's because the few phones I had before, I had like a developer's version, and I had all kinds of different. I got second-hand phones, and I remember having like a Fido like green screen phone, and the first cell phone I actually bought myself was a Razor. Um, I was so proud of myself. I spent like $450 on a Razor, and then I'm like, you go look at the phone store and you tell me what $450 will get you. And one of my friends got the special edition of the Razor. She got it in like red or hot pink, and I think it was hot pink, and it was for breast cancer or something. And I got light pink. And she paid like an extra $50 or $100 than what I did, and it was hilarious. And I remember when everyone had a Razor, and that was all on the television. And I actually used to surf the web on mine. I know now we're just listening to me talk about nostalgic technology, and while we're watching him click his way through the game. But highly funny that I actually still have the Razor, because it amuses me to look at the fact that I actually wore out the keys, and not from texting, but from actually surfing the internet on one of those screens. And if you could even possibly fathom doing internet searching and Googling on a little Razor flip phone, and I paid $7 a month for unlimited internet, and then it upgraded to $10, and it was an add-on for pay-as-you-go with TELUS. And then I never should have let it go. And then smartphones came out, and suddenly internet is like, 1 gigabyte is like $50 a month. Like, it's insane how much companies charge you to use internet. But once upon a time, I had a flip phone, and I could surf the web, and it cost me $7 a month. And I remember getting an email. I emailed the head of a department at school in university to ask them, hey, how do I get into this master's program, and I see this requirement, but I don't really meet that. Like, will you accept this? And they were very like, no, this is the way it is. Yep, yep, yep. And we're actually like, and you should watch your communications with professionals, blah, blah, blah. Because it was all lowercase. And I gotta tell you that I was an English major at the time. I was emailing the English department with all lowercase email because I was on my flip phone that didn't have an uppercase. Like, there was no way to capitalize anything, and there was no punctuation. I mean, I got a period in there sometimes, but like the other punctuation was completely lost. And so they just thought that I was an idiot. And I really, really, really wanted to like yip back at them, like, well, actually, I typed it up on my phone. Thank you. Because at that time, it was really impressive to send an email from your phone. Now everybody has it. And everybody has those warnings on the bottom that sent, like they say, sent from my Apple, sent from my Samsung, blah, blah, blah. I don't have that on mine. I just generally try not to send emails through my phone. When I used to have the sliding phone and it actually had a keyboard, it was easier. The touchscreen, they're okay. Right now I have like super long girly nails, and I gotta tell you, if it wasn't for the predicting part in texting, and even then, I'm still coming across like really weird sometimes. And I have to have autocorrect off. I have always had to turn autocorrect off. Predicting texting is helpful sometimes, but I always have to have autocorrect off because I put in so many typos, that changes things. Like I put in typos to begin with because I just text too fast. And then when you have long nails, it's just even worse because there's some buttons that I just don't hit because my nails are too long. So, um, yeah. I mean, this is like fun commentary, I'm sure. I don't know. This has been 15 minutes we've been playing this game. And I told him he had to play for at least 20 minutes or until he ran out of lives, just because I spent 50 minutes playing StarCraft. And I think it was like a half hour the other day playing H1Z1, which wasn't too bad. But I was disappointed with H1Z1 because it was so different. And again, a lot of the games, like, they're more fun once you know what they do. And like, I like games like this because it's so easy to play. He's decided he doesn't want to play anymore. You beat that level 15. Let's go. He's being grumpy about it. Eventually we'll hit a wall and we'll either run out of lives or the guy will just like not. I don't know if he knows that those balloons take away every balloon of that color. Apparently not. He's just going to keep clicking just to be a smartass. He's not even trying anymore. So now we're getting into like the move countdown. Like there's only 48 moves now. So you have to do it in so many moves. And we're trying to get 16 of these guys. I always go for like the biggest block segments. Because the bigger the block segment is, the more points you get, which means your rocket fills up faster. And using the balloons when there's the highest amount of that color on the board. So rather than he just clicked a big chunk of blue, if he had clicked the blue balloon, he would have gotten more points for one move. And when you have these timed, like so many move games, you have to optimize every move. See, so now that one red click gave him an entire rocket ship full of things. He's not going to make it. He's got 11 out of 16. We're going to go again. We'll see if maybe he can beat it. He's got 3 lives left. This may be the end. We're going to see if he can get through. So he's going to try to click the biggest blocking. So like there's groups of 3. You want to try and make as big of a blocking of color as possible because, again, it gives you more points on the rocket. And the more rockets, like games like rounds like this where you have so many moves to get them out, you just want to fill your rockets quickly, use up the rocket, and start accumulating the next rocket. So you saw that purple move, it like almost filled it. So now he's going to use the rocket. He's going to use it on the pig. Some of them you can still click your way down, which is cool. He gets drawn in by the bombs, which like do stuff, but for the most part they're kind of useless. So you really want to watch, because as soon as your rocket is like filled with a limited move game, when you have the high number of critters to rescue, you want to use it as soon as possible because you're going to need every single rocket that you could possibly earn. He's learning. It's kind of wasting a few times. Let's see, so we're at 9 out of 16. We've got 26 moves. Let's see what we can do. So really, he should have used the rocket and then clicked through those. I'm not judging, though. See, he didn't want to do his own commentary. He wanted me to give the commentary because apparently I'm far more amusing, which unfortunately means that he has to listen to me drag on about his playing to other people. Use the rocket! Oh, for the love of God, use the rocket. Oh, bad move. Bomb. Use the bomb. Use the bomb! So he's got 1. There we go. He's got 16. 16 with 3 moves left. I'm very much a backseat driver. If we drove? If we drove? Do we drove, sweetie? We don't drove. We don't drive either. We like public transportation. I think if you see, we're going to click continue. He's got 3 more levels, and then there's a blockade here. I don't think he wants to play anymore. So I'm going to play the last three. We'll see if I'm any better or any faster at them. I love this game. I find it very therapeutic. So this one, there's fences. If you click something by the fence, it helps get rid of the fence. The bombs will get rid of the fence, but you can't use a block until the fence is gone. And when you use the rocket over it, it actually just takes the fence away. It doesn't clear the block. Later you'll get like snippers, like wire cutters that you can actually cut through the wire, which is really cool. But let's see. So we got 3 guys. And sometimes it's just waiting for enough guys to drop so that you can play. I know I ragged on him about using the rocket and then I was just ignoring it. So we've only got 11 moves. We want to try and path of least resistance. So we got through that one pretty quick. It's 20 minutes of Pet Rescue Saga, which I mean, gee, that's a great time to watch. Keeps like showing the people that we beat, and we're kind of like, oopsies. We don't want to put strangers up here. So like I said, we borrowed someone's Facebook to play this. And there's no blocks. The guy will swipe away. So sometimes like you had to get 4 out of 4. Sometimes you have to get 4 animals, but they give you 6. So if one clears through at the top, you're still okay. We'll see how we do. And then you're like, I'm so good at this game, I'm at level 300 and something, and then you play, and you're like, I just lost. Level, like, not 300 and something. So, I'm sure we've used more than, like it says we have 3 lives left, but we've definitely used more than 2. Don't want any of that. And we lost this one. So this is one of those situations that like, okay, we have 2 lives left. Odds are we're gonna whip our way through those lives pretty quick. And we're gonna miss them. We're gonna miss them when they're gone. We're like Anna Kendrick of video games. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you need to go just Google Anna Kendrick, Miss Me When I'm Gone. It's a cup song, which apparently they added in because they knew that she could do that cup game, which is actually very fun. And I've even, I volunteer with little kids, and I've got taught it before Pitch Perfect came out and Anna Kendrick did it. I learned how to do it from children. Oh, that wasn't a blockade. That was earning the wire cutter. But back to the cup song. Last year I taught a group of 5-year-olds to do it, and they thought it was the coolest thing. And they were really quite impressed with themselves. And I gotta tell you, 5-year-olds doing that is pretty awesome, except for the singing. That singing was like specifically written for Anna Kendrick in Pitch Perfect. Oh, Anna Kendrick. How we all wish we could look like you and sing like you and just be so gosh darn pretty and nice. She seems really nice. She might secretly be a bitch. But as far as I can tell, she seems pretty nice. And she likes musicals. And I mean, anybody who likes musicals are awesome. Alright, and we lost, and I think we're done for the day. It's been 25 minutes of Pet Rescue Saga, and my ranting about random technologies that we used to like in the 90s, and Razor flip phones. And if you missed that part, you should rewind it, because it was highly entertaining. Alright, so thank you very much for watching. This was 365 Days of Gaming, Day 3, Mr. Mad taking on the Pet Rescue Saga Facebook game. There's a whole set of them. He will most likely be exploring them. I don't know what we're playing tomorrow, but I think it's my turn again. Or I might make him tackle another Facebook game. Before this, he actually drew a PlayStation game I had put in his bin, but we didn't have the setup yet. And he drew another Facebook game that I knew he had played, and he was too excited to play it that I wasn't going to let him get away with that. Alright, so have a great day. Ciao.